Hello everyone, unsurprisingly it's me Pavlo with your miniature daily dose of Ukrainian accent. Today we are going to talk about the new version of the huge bestseller. It's Shanling's smallest player, M0, and new revision named Pura or Pura, not sure about correct pronunciation here. So, of course, everyone knows about Shanling M0. It exists on the market for a really long time. Shanling released few revisions, but they all share similar size, shape, and design. So, new revision continues this trend, but featuring new dual Cirrus Logic 43131 decks and amplifier capable of delivering up to 250 milliwatts for 32 ohms load. Price is set at $130, and most likely this player will bring a warm, nostalgic feelings to many of you. So let's check it out. Box is pretty small, which makes sense for a compact player, but at the same time it looks really interesting. Good combination of black and orange, a bit of foiling, this concentric squares, Shanling's diagonal design, so everything is pretty attractive. So let's dig in, and inside you're getting the bright orange box. On the top there is a player itself, and if we go deeper, we're getting a bit of accessories. I don't expect much here, probably USB Type-C cable. Yep, here it is. And maybe screen protectors, if we'll be lucky. Yep, screen protectors, manual, warranty card, and things like that. So Shanling has an interesting set of accessories, including cases for it, and also they are selling balanced adapter. They have some complex 3.5mm port that can be converted to the balanced output, but you'll need to get it separately. So basically in the accessories set you're getting player itself and USB cable. Design and build quality are one of the strongest sides of this tiny player. It exists on the market for a really long time with different variations, of course, because first it was M0, then M0 Pro or M0 Plus, and now we have M0 Pura, but design didn't change much. It's a really small, compact, cute player with a solid metal case. And it's pretty surprising that for such a small device, you're getting a really nice and solid feel. It's not super heavy, but still you're getting the sense of a well-built thing. Nothing is shaking, nothing is loose, so build quality overall is really nice. So case mainly made of metal with screen on the front and the plastic on top and bottom because they had to put Bluetooth antenna somewhere. On the bottom you're getting micro SD slot, USB connector. It serves for all purposes, charging, working as DAC, working as transport, and many others, and headphones output. So about charging, I've got 6 to 7 hours on the single charge for this player with IEMs with normal listening volume. I've seen some figures that are noticeably lower than this, and I've seen figures that noticeably higher. So I've got like 7 hours at average. And also you getting 3.5mm out, but as I've already said, it can be converted to the balanced out if you need extra power. And what is surprisingly good about this player, its capabilities. It can work as Bluetooth receiver and transmit it to USB. It can work as USB DAC and transmit it via Bluetooth or work to the headphone. So basically all combinations of connectivity works here. I didn't test it with this player in particular, but it was true for previous models, and I'm pretty sure that Shanling didn't change it. What this player is lacking is some extra controls. So basically all controls are sensor screen and this one clicky wheel that also can be pressed. Pressing works as on-off, and of course it also lock screen. It adjusts volume, and that's it. Also, you can adjust play pause to double taps, and if I remember correctly, to triple taps. But of course, it would be nice to have 3 buttons for playback control, or at least 1 extra button, or at least something. So the rest is done via this screen. In terms of brightness and viewing angles, screen is actually pretty okay. It's not super bright and not super high res, but at the same time it's kinda okay for what it's made for. But of course, you need some usage for the gesture recognition of this player. It was an issue for the previous models, and for the new one it's too. It's not super smooth and not super fluid type of gestures, but after some usage you can use to it. But let's talk about the firmware in the next part. Firmware here is custom built. Shanling polished it for quite a long time, so it's pretty stable in terms of work and features. Main menu consists of different colorful icons, now playing screen, my music, folders, playback controls, and system settings. So in my music there are all files, favorites, albums, artists, composer, and so on. Swipe from left to right goes back. Folder browser just shows your media library by folders, and as you can see, scroll is pretty chaotic here. I don't have a huge media library, but still, of course, a slight swipe gesture causes it to jump like from top to bottom, so definitely still needs a bit of adjustment. But they have features like selecting, moving, adding to playlists, and so on. In the playback settings, you can select maximum volume, default volume, artist list display, resume mode, gapless playback, equalizer, gain low and high, replay gain, filters, channel balance, play mode, and skip folders. So basic settings we are used to. And in the system, updating media library, Bluetooth, Sync Link is a nice feature for the remote control of this player from your smartphone or other Shanling device. Brightness, screen timeout, idle, sleep timers, USB mode, clock, lock screen, volume locking, wheel shortcuts, DSD mode, USB audio output. So basically a few different themes and so on. All necessary basic settings you require to work with player. So let's open some music. Yeah, and to return to main menu, long press on any screen. It's also working. So they want me to perform this gesture. So it's a now playing screen. You can swipe it, as I remember, to open additional menu and see lyrics, add to playlists, and so on and so forth. So a lot of different things are available. And also there is a small pop-up menu for changing brightness, playback order, Bluetooth, and play controls. So minimalistic, not always super fluid and intuitive, but still kinda okay working firmware. This player continues Shanling tradition of making slightly warmer devices, focused on more musical and engaging representations than on the pure technicalities. But over the years, Shanling changes their approach to creating warm sound, and now they don't make players with overly warm and softened representation. Still, this player delivers nice technicalities, but it has a noticeable hint of added weight on lows and lower mids. Not too much, but still it just gives more analog-like feeling here. Bass goes pretty deep, and they sacrificed a bit of tightness and impact to add more weight. Not too much, because texturing and small nuances retrieval is still really nice here. But overall, bass is slightly on more solid and massive side of things. And in vast majority of situations with a lot of tracks, it just adds a bit of extra charm to the record. And as an example, I'm using Yello Vicious Games. Nice, engaging, juicy bass line and good control of the low frequencies. Bass is slightly boosted, that makes everything more tasty. And as usual, really nice contrast with mid frequencies that makes it even more engaging. Mids are good in terms of resolution, but they're not trying to be focused on the micro contrast and deliver every single nuance. Low male vocals and instruments that are hitting the lower part of the mids getting a bit of extra weight, but not too much. And at the same time, upper mids are clean, crisp, resolving, and not overly sharp overall. Imaginary stage is above average, both in width and in depth. It's not huge, but it's nicely built with proper positioning of all instruments. Vocal is moved forward pretty reasonably, so everything is accurate and nicely rendered. It's not trying to be the audiophilic player delivering all tiniest nuances and details, but still you can enjoy different remasters, you can enjoy different releases, and so on. But at the same time, it's not super critical for the quality of records, and in this aspect, it's pretty forgiving. And as an example, for the mid frequencies, it's Strange Déjà Vu by Dream Theater, their famous album Metropolis Part 2. And here you're getting a bit of extra weight for the bass guitar and floor drum, but at the same time vocal is delivered pretty well, and guitars also. It's lacking a bit of refinement to deliver keyboards perfectly, but still overall pretty nice representation for this track. Unlike the first versions of M0, this one doesn't try to make treble softer or to hide it. Actually, in terms of treble performance, this player has no issues at all. Nice extension, maybe not maximum, but noticeably above average, proper attacks and decays, and really good basic and advanced overtones. Of course, almost no layering, but it's something to expect in this price range. And overall, high frequencies are represented without being excessively sharp or softened or anyway colored. And in this aspect, they're doing a great job in giving you air, small nuances, details, and everything you can expect here. And as an example, let me tap the button. I've selected Immigrant song by Led Zeppelin, and airy guitars, high-pitched vocals, percussion, everything is going to the treble area and requires really nice overtones rendering to be separated and properly played. And this player does it really nicely, and also I'm finding its overall hint of warmth matching this to match this track in a really nice manner, giving a bit of vintage sounding that really benefits for this Led Zeppelin track. This player is surprisingly versatile in terms of pairing. A really good black background with sensitive IEMs, and up to 250 milliwatts for 32 ohms load to drive full-size headphones. Of course, it won't drive some high impedance models or some tough-to-drive planars, but regular full-size headphones won't be an issue with this player too. Speaking about the conversions, previous version of M0 actually not much difference in terms of sound. This one is slightly more resolving and technical, especially on the treble. But at the same time, if you have a previous version and it works okay, probably it's not worth selling it and going into upgrade. So it's not a revolution, just a small step forward. FIO can offer disk in similar price range. Disk is more affordable. It has bigger screen and it's bigger in size. In terms of sound, it's slightly more natural, but it's a matter of taste here. And actually, FIO has own issues in the firmware, so it's two not perfect players in terms of firmware, and it's your choice which one to get. Also, there is Hybe R1 in the pretty similar price range. For me, it's more comfortable in terms of firmware. It's slightly bigger, has a bit bigger screen, and because of that, it's more convenient in terms of controls. In terms of sound, it's a bit more natural and slightly more tight sounding in terms of accents on the attacks and the fast transitions. So overall, it's a really good player. It has a few drawbacks like lacking of buttons, not perfect gesture recognition, but if you're looking for something small, versatile and nicely sounding, M0 still does its work really well. Thank you for listening, thank you for your attention, and of course have a great day.